Good afternoon, guys. I'm Second Lieutenant Castillo. I'm the science tech here at 27th Engineer, and I'll be the OIC for the Sapper train-up through the month of October all the way to the beginning of November. And I'm going to be here with Sapper MBA, who will be the NCOIC. So before I start, just a little bit about myself. I like to give people like a paint a picture of who I am before I'm like over here telling you guys what to do, telling you guys all about this shit, but you don't know anything about me. So, I'm originally from Massachusetts. I went to school, University of Puerto Rico, at my was. I studied mechanical engineering, and I was an athlete in softball and in judo, so I'm all about like fitness and stuff and sports. So I really enjoyed like my time at Sapper Leader course. And went to aerosol school in May. I was the honor grad, and I also went to Airborne when I was a cadet when I was in college. I participated in the 1296 Infantry Battalion in Puerto Rico, where I did drills with them, and I worked with 12 Bravos and 11 Bravos. So that's just a little bit about myself.
For most of you that know me, I'm Sasson Piera. I'm originally from Vertical Platoon over in HAC. Now, a very motivated driver over at Brigade. A little bit about myself. A little bit about myself. I joined the military in 2018. Originally from Toledo, Ohio. Don't go there. I joined in as a 12 Romeo, which many of you know or not know as an interior electrician. First experience with Sapper was my AIT instructor, Son First Class Fry. He was a Sapper, airborne. I don't think he was a Ranger, but that was my first taste of what it's like to be in the military and what I wanted to accomplish in the military. So, lo and behold, I'm here now. I'm airborne. I went to Sapper school September of 21, I do remember. And for me, that was just, that was me showing myself I can do the things that I set my mind to. We all have our own reasons of why we do our things and why we're all trying to do this course, right? But what's important in the course is why you're there, and that's going to keep you motivated and moving forward to complete the school. And you're going to bring that information back, you're going to train up the next generation, and you're going to send them, and we're just going to all become killers. So, yeah. Yeah. I've also, okay. I was also competing in Best Sapper. I was the first 12 Romeo because I was E5 at the time. Sergeant, I went to E5. To compete, it was grueling. I think it was like 3 or 4 days. Definitely the most physically demanding thing I've ever done, mentally demanding. And honestly though, I don't regret ever doing it. I want to do it again this year. Right now I'm validating the PT plan for this next upcoming Best Sapper competition. So once you guys tab, you guys are coming back and you guys are competing. I don't care what you say. It's an experience everyone needs to have, and honestly, you'll be better off after you're done.
I want to jump in real quick because I got to run to another meeting.
That's
Look, hey, I appreciate y'all being here. I wish I know because I expect there's going to be some more of you. Find people to your left and right that are scared right now, and make them come on into this point out, so we can give them the confidence to be able to go. Right? All the things that they're going to talk to you about are all true, and they're very good. Here's a couple major things. Right. Number one is that the Sapper Leader course will teach you about yourself. It will. It'll teach you about yourself. You'll understand that where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. At what points you at least contemplating wanting to quit, even if you didn't, and you'll know that even if I do have those thoughts, I can push past those. Right? When we talk, we just came from earlier this morning. We're talking our annual training guidance conference, right? And the big focus to me is if you got to be able to fight, not just your toughest day in combat. That's like D-Day, right? Does the battle end after D-Day? No, right? You got to be able to fight for 30 to 60 days in sustained combat. And it's things like Ranger School and Sapper School that are some of our best ways to be able to push you to your absolute limits. And I know when I see you wearing that, I know you're not going to quit. I know you're not going to quit. Right? Everyone else? I don't know, but I know you're not going to quit. I can't, how often do we go to the field for 30 days? 2 weeks even. right? Do we mimic what, if you went to the field and tried to run a field problem like Sapper leader course, like a lot of people would be like, what? That's crazy, right? Like, that's not, I did it when I was a youth son. You know, that's the idea of the level of toughness that you need to be able to create within your entire team, because that's, you know, we can't shoot at you. I can't make you kill other people. I can't kill the people to your left and right of you. So I need to put as many other stressors on you as I can, because those are the realities of you're going to have to shoot other people. You're going to have people beside you that are going to get shot or killed or blown up, and you got to keep fighting, right? Hard to be able to mimic that, but this is one of the things that does that. So regardless of your MOS or what company you're in or what your job is, that's important for all of us to be able to do. Make sense?
Whoa.
Okay. And not to mention, just don't be. Who wants to be the one without one? So that's about that's what we're about to get to, right? We're like, hey, man, if you're not double tapped, then bro, are you even in the 27s?
I'm getting there.
I appreciate it. Thank you two very, very much. I know that this will be incredibly successful. I just talked to not Kent. I'm sorry, I just looked at you over here. 2 cats from 264. The specialist that went to CERT, or E3 that went to CERT, Quevedo, and then Sergeant Deaton. They both think that they're going to Sapper School sometime in November.
I never
So Deaton and Quevedo think they're going in November, so you should probably reach out to 264 and be like, hey, if they're not in this trade now.
Understood. I'll let them know. I talked to them this morning.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you all. I won't take up any more of your time. Appreciate you. We'll see you all in the morning. All right.
Alright, so we don't want to take like all your lunchtime, obviously it's your time, so we just want to see, what do you guys think Sapper leader course is? Everyone thinks it's like this badass school where you go to blow stuff up, but like, what do you guys think Sapper leader course is? What's like the purpose of it?
So leadership course to build like leaders.
Yep, so the leaders. Anyone?
Come back. See your hand go up.
It's more of an advanced combat engineer school to prepare yourself as an engineer leaders.
Yeah, so it's a combat engineer school that specializes in mobility, counter mobility, and survivability. So here you'll learn about exactly what an engineer does and how to implement those tasks and help maneuverability of different elements and different units in a chaotic situation, right? Like you're in a war-bound situation. So you basically implement those different types of tactics that you can help the infantry, for example, or the field artillery, basically destroy the enemy. So that's the whole point of an engineer, right? Like we're everything. We can do all things. So that's what Sapper leader course is. You not only learn these tactical capabilities of engineers, but you also learn how to be a leader. Like Sergeant Major said, Colonel Pope said, you learn a lot about yourself and how you can react with limited sleep and no food, and be able to execute all these tasks and lead other troops. So the point is for you guys to go to this school, right? Enjoy it as much as you can, and you come back and you get to train your soldiers. So you're making the fighting force, the engineer fighting force, stronger. Not only us, but other different types of units, right? So that's what Sapper leader course is. So briefly in the agenda, we already discussed what SLC is. We'll go over the class schedule. Demo, we're going to go over like the different classes for demo because it's such a broad subject. So exactly what we're going to be teaching in those. The PT schedule and H2F is going to give their brief on the different types of PT events that we're going to do, the critical events that you guys need to pass here in order to get a hard slot, and then those critical events, and then expectations from the instructors and from the leaders and the instructors. So we're going to have a variety of NCOs and officers giving these classes. So we'll just go over some expectations, and then if you guys have any questions about how the next couple of weeks are going to look, feel free to ask. So this is how SLC is breaking up. So we have the demo test. You have to get 70% on this test. As you can see, all the written tests, which there's 4 written tests, you have to get 70%. So at the school, you do get a second opportunity to take these exams, but you don't want to have to be in that situation. because you're gonna be under limited sleep and you're gonna have to take all these tests the day before patrolling begins. So you don't wanna get you don't wanna get under 70%. So just in case you wanna write this down, it's important for you guys to know. What to expect over there. So demo, air ops is basically air assault. So onto air assault school, and basically the classes I took over there, literally the same exact things, Pathfinder operations and such. So we'll go over that. Urban breaching, basically how to breach doors or get into buildings, and the different types of demolition that you use to do that, specialized breaching and such. And then mobility and counter mobility operations. So basically, what I was speaking about earlier, the engineer tactics for EA dev, shapes and creators, basically specific engineer missions. And then we have the 12 mile ruck. So 12 mile ruck is pretty heavy. It's pretty difficult. So H2F with their PT is basically gonna help us get to that point. So we're gonna build up small and eventually get to that 12 mile. And then we have land nav. So our goal for this train up is to do more land nav and to have it with rucks on. So we're gonna have 3 land navs. Each week we'll have one. I'm still deciding on whether or not we're gonna do partners or not, depending on if you guys are going with people in this exact class. It's better for you guys to practice together when you get there, but we're still in the works of that. So the 2 first land navs are gonna be over here at the Matamop, and then the 3rd one is gonna be a different course. So, but we'll touch upon that later. And then we have phase 2 controlling. So in order to pass general subjects, you need to get a certain amount of points. We don't know how much the points are for everything. It's just a mixture of different things that you have to pass, and you don't really know if you pass it or not. You just have to hope that you do, and then heartbreak formation, you figure out if you passed or not. And if not, you have to repeat that cycle. So then you get to patrolling. So patrolling is literally the same day as heartbreak formation. You do a layout with your gear, and you hit the ground running. So for patrolling, the only requirement that you have to pass for patrolling that we know of is you need to get at least 1 go in a tactical mission, right? So you can be given any mission from a raid, an ambush, shapes and craters, EA dev, any of those missions, and you'll be given a leadership position, and you'll have to execute that leadership position in a way that is both tactical and in a leadership perspective. You get your troops there safely and you execute the mission correctly. So it's very subjective, so you don't know if you passed or not. So patrolling, we're gonna work on the different things you'll learn during it, but we can't really we can't give you the answers to the test for patrolling. You'll just have to figure that out with the knowledge that we give you. So that's how SLC is broken up. So this is the class schedule and the different instructors that are gonna be giving these classes. So for demo, we're gonna start all of demo starting the 10th. The 10th is also the SPFT. We'll go over the physical events after. But yeah, feel free to take a picture of this. It might be subject to change. I am running some ranges in October, so we might have to switch or just fire on some of these things, but we do have a whole week of alibi that we can go to if we need to switch some classes up. So like I said, we have demo in the first week. We'll go over what the demo requirements are. We have our demo test the 16th, so you have the weekend to study for that demo test. And it's a critical event for this course, or for this train up. And then we have some basic classes. So basic classes including SCTs, which you have to learn them before you get there. You don't necessarily have to pass them to get in the course, but if you are a walk-on, it will determine whether you get onto the class or not. If you're a hard slot, still try to pass those things. We're gonna harp on them a lot here. And you need to know the SCT because you're gonna use them when you get to the actual school. Land nav, as I spoke about earlier, we're gonna go over some basic land nav skills. Knots, so there are about 12 knots. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's about 12 knots that you're gonna get tested on.
Just tell me that one.
To include a Swissy. To include a Swissy and Prusik. So there's a bunch of knots that we have to go over. Limited time to learn them, but if you guys start learning them now before the train up starts next week, it might help you a lot more. We have a bunch of individuals that are really good at knots, so they'll be able to help you guys. For now, like things that you guys should bring to class, if you are to get chosen, bring an actual rope if you guys have it. If you don't, come to my office and we'll discuss more. Try to get you some of that equipment. We're gonna go over UXOs, so unexploded ordnance, basically basic unexploded ordnance, like these little. How would you explain it? Unexploded ordnance. but like dumb it down.
So essentially, right, you do various tests or test out for various items. I don't know if anyone here is yoga qualified. I know I'm not, but they touch very little on it. Essentially what it is, if you come up on like, so bombs, right? That's considered UXO, it's unexploded ordnance. You come over missiles, you'll have like scat mines, stuff like that. You have to identify in correct categories what type it is. As we know, there's let's see, we have phosphorus, like white phosphorus, or like gas, explosive, or incendiary. I'm trying to nail them all. What is it? And we also have fragticide, or
The point is, there's a bunch of
not
different
fragticide. Fragmentation. There you go.
There's different like UXLs you'll learn about when you actually get to class. We'll go over like a PowerPoint on how they look and what they're used for.
Yeah, they don't really touch on it too much when I went, so I literally know it's minimal.
It's not the
But
most
I don't know
important
how it's changed over the time with the POI. So.
It's not the most important class, but it's still important for you to know because you might come across a mission where you'll find a UXO. Because I did in my notes. So for air ops, like I had mentioned earlier, so it's basically aerosol pathfinder operations, super easy. And then we'll go over some hands-on events like the poncho raft and one rope. They're very easy. They're very easy events, I'd say, for points at the actual school, but we want to perfect it before you guys get there. So some of those things are in partner or they're spot events. And then we have some 10-level tasks. 10-level tasks meaning setting up a claymore, setting up a 240 on the correct tripod configuration, radios. So when I went to Sapper school recently, we had ambitters, which are like the smaller radios, which I'm sure most of you have not used an ambitter or set it up. So we're gonna go over those things. So when you get there, you can train other people on how to use them as well. And then we have our third week. So our third week is dedicated to patrolling. It might switch to the fourth week depending on some ranges that are being held. But we have like patrol base, ORP. Some of you have never really had those type of classes before unless you've been to a tactical school. So we'll go over those different missions: ambush raid, reaction contact, also the engineer missions, EA dev, ships and creators, and finally, I'm going to give these classes on Warno, Opboard, Frago, and Annexes. So these classes they're kind of like officer classes, to be honest with you. But if you're a squad leader, you might have to give an annex, or you might have to brief something from a Frago or an Opboard. So they're equally as important.
You will.
Yeah, you will. They're equally as important. So they're very long and draining classes, but I'm going to give them. So I'm going to try to make them as interactive as possible. And they're very helpful for you. Like in the future, if you want to be an officer too, like that's your bread and butter. You're going to be doing Opboards a lot. So that's for our third week, and then fourth week we'll have basically makeup classes if we have to move any because of ranges. So we'll just shift everything to the right if need be. So it's important that you communicate with your chain of command if you do pass the SPOT and join the court and join the training, so that you can attend these classes. It's important that you do. If you take notes on them, they will pay off in the long run. You'll be able to study them before you actually go to school, and you'll be way better prepared than a lot of other people. So that's how our class schedule is looking. So demo breakdown, I'm not going to go into detail on what all these things are, just know that demo is like the most failed test that I've seen at Sapper school. A lot of people have to retake it, but I know our instructors are going to give good classes, so if you take good enough notes, do well on the demo test itself, you'll be fine. Like, it's not anything to worry about. We also have a lot of good PowerPoints that go over everything in detail. So it's like I won't worry about it too much. So this is the breakdown. We'll have 4 days dedicated to it. So every 2 days we'll be dedicated to a different type of demolition. So that's just some things to keep in mind. Sorry. And this is our PD schedule. I'll let HUF brief what's coming up. It's important on my part. SPSC, you have to pass it. 6 mile ruck. So a 6 mile ruck might be a 6 mile run at school. We don't know yet. It did change when I was there. Land nav, you have to do well on all 3. You don't have to pass it, but I do want to see you guys work hard on those land nav. And then of course the 12 mile ruck. So HUF is gonna explain the next 2 slides. Start and go into the actual training. So
Cool.
Madison.
Okay, so first off, I know roughly 90% of you, so I've worked with the vast majority of you. Before talking about the actual PT plan, let's go over H2F just in general and expectations. So who here is all aware of everything H2F does besides just the physical portion? Couple hands can.
Oh, yeah.
The very obvious part of all of it is we do PT, just because that's the one that is probably the most comfortable with everyone. Besides that, and on top of that, just us offering you the PT is not going to be anywhere near the most important part. The mental side, the sleep side, the nutrition side, all of that is going to be just as important, if not more important, than the actual physical aspect. Especially that mental portion too. So we have a lot more people to our team than just the three of us coaches here. You see Karen here, you've all seen her running around the entire program. So on that point, who here has the H2S Google Voice number that we use to schedule appointments?
Me.
Okay, if you cannot pull out your phone right now or find something to write down this number. The number is 910-236-9718. Repeating, 910-236-9718. So besides just us as strength coaches, and I forgot to mention, this is Coach Alyssa, this is Sergeant Rivers, who will be helping us out. I was running point on the Sapper training last time. I am now running point for Best Sapper, so Coach Alyssa will be your main POC that you will see every day. You'll see a couple others of us jumping in and out, but mainly you will be with Coach Alyssa. So, again, starting out just besides physical, your nutrition, vitally important. Your mental, vitally important. Your sleep, vitally important. Your injury prevention and control, vitally important. So use that number to schedule appointments as needed. I would err on the side of doing it sooner rather than later if you already know there's something coming up. On top of that, expectations. So, Sapper leader course. The expectation is already, I'm going to treat you like your Sapper. I'm going to treat you to the capability that you already are a leader. So maybe if you've been with us with CPP before, we kind of have to hold your hand a little bit more. It's a little bit more pushing, like, hey, add some weight on, hey, go a little bit faster, hey. Coming here already, I'm with the expectation that you are an echelon above most of your peers. You are in the tab already. You are going to be leaders. Because again, my expectation, if you pass the SPFT, you are coming back tab once we send you to school. So we are not going to hunt you down. This program in general is going to have a lot more autonomy, really, than you're probably used to around here. I expect that we're obviously going to be here to push you, but I expect that you're going to hold yourself to a higher standard, and me, nor Coach Alyssa, nor Sergeant Rivers, will have to babysit or hold your hand or push you throughout the time. Alyssa may be nicer than me, but that is my expectation that you are going to hold yourself to a higher standard, so that's you on that same page. Okay. So, looking at the actual program. So, we have 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks is a lot of time, but at the same time, it's not a lot. 6 weeks, we're going to get stronger, we're going to get more fit, we're going to get more conditioned. But unless you're already coming in with a requisite amount of strength and conditioning in the first place, you're not going to see like huge, like life-changing numbers. The biggest thing you're going to get out of this train-up is more so just resilience. So like once you're there at Sapper leader course, you have 30 days. Your body will be breaking down more and more by the day. This PT program is going to get you stronger. It is going to get you more conditioned, all of that jazz. But more so, it is going to, the entire goal is to get you ready for the demands that you will be seeing once you get to the schoolhouse and helping you be able to keep up physically and be able to maintain your performance as we go. So, looking up here, starting out that week 1, we've got the SPFT, we've got some lifts, we've got some litter PT in there. So, into week 2, so week 1, only testing event is going to be that SPFT. Coming on to week 2, we have that 6-mile run right off the bat. So something I'm going to mention is you'll notice all of those Mondays are the runs. I have heard this before, and I will still, again, Alyssa may be nicer than me, but I'm not going to accept it as an excuse that your runs suck because you're hungover from the weekend.
I will also not accept that.
Okay, cool. Glad we're on the same page here. Again, leader course, I am expecting you guys to hold yourself to a higher standard, and it's 6 weeks. Y'all cannot get, you're going to drink, do it on a fucking Saturday, not on a Sunday night. As long as we're on the same page there. 6-mile run, that is a necessary 90 minutes. You have to be faster than that. If you're not, that really sucks. 15 minute per mile pace. Having some lifts, having that land nav. Friday, that 5-mile run is going to be a tested event as well, with a very minimum of 9 minutes per mile, which comes out to 45 minutes? Yeah. So those are the 2 tested events for week 2. Going on to week 3, there is not going to be any tested events. So that week is going to still be hard. As you can see, we are at 18 total miles on feet for that week. You're doing that 9-mile run. You are doing more land now, you are doing more running, but there will not be any testing that week. Head to that next slide. Week 4 is that 12-mile run. So over those first 4 weeks, we're building up to that 12. These 6-mile and the 12-mile are arguably like tied for the most important things in this entire training. If you do not pass those, you're screwed. That 12-mile has that same standard of 15 minutes per mile, just like that 6-mile does. So 12-mile in a very maximum of 3 hours. Along with that, the rest of that week really dies down. So that week 4 is going to be the crescendo. That is where we are peaking towards. That is where the highest intensity will be. And from there, easing it down a little bit, getting you prepared, getting you recovered to head to school. We'll have some boot runs, we'll have recovery, we'll have more land nav. Into that week 5 will be that final phase of the testing. So that last thing you're going to do before you actually head up to school, that 6-mile run, the expectation there is again 9 minutes per mile, which 54 minutes. So both of those runs, 9 minutes per mile, all of the RUPS expectation, 15 minutes per mile. That is on the minimum. If you want to go faster, I would highly suggest it. So we see that building up there. Again, 6 weeks, really 5 weeks, because that week 6, you're not here the entire time. That week 5 is really just recovery from that 12 mile. So really, we're spending 4 weeks building up that volume, getting your body ready to handle all of the stressors, all the demands that will be coming. Along with that, like I said, you may have some aches and pains that pop up. We have an injury control team for that, text that number. Your nutrition is going to be vitally important. Of everyone who came back, I think on average I heard people lost 10 to 20 pounds while they're at school. So your nutrition going to be vitally important. The mental is arguably going to probably maybe more important than the PT. Because it's not going to be a matter of does your body break, it's going to be a matter of does your mind break and can you keep pushing through everything that's going on. So I gave out that number, please utilize that number, but again, I will not chase you down if you do not. On to, week 5, so we have that 6-mile run, that will be the last tested event. And then week 6, you're off on your own. I think that covers everything I want. Questions, comments, concerns over PT, H2F in general? Good. Anything you want to add?
I really just want to mention that, or rather, I just want to hit on the fact that Madison was saying that essentially the effort you put in is going to be what you get out of it. So not only is this physical portion very important, but yes, your mobility is going to be important, right? We don't want you to have to go and utilize that number to get injuries taken care of if we can help it at all. I'm going to be including a couple extra little things. We're going to be utilizing Coach Madison's same train up that we did previously. So those that were already doing it previously probably will remember a lot of the stuff that we were doing. I'm just going to include some extra like mobility and recovery techniques, especially with the feet. I want to make sure that everybody, is thinking about their feet on a regular basis. Like there are muscles in your feet, there are tendons in your feet. Like you have to train your feet, and you want them to be as resilient as possible, right? You guys are constantly on your feet, so I'm trying to make sure that you all feel as good as possible while doing this really strenuous training. So do please take the warm-ups seriously, take the cool-downs seriously. Everything that we're doing, we're not doing it just to tell y'all what to do, we're doing it so that you all can be the best you can be for this train up, and so y'all can pass the school. We're here as a resource. If you have any questions, please come and ask us. Otherwise, just put in your best effort, and we're gonna do everything we can to make sure you're moving right and you stay recovering correctly so that you can feel good going up to this school.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, so critical events, like we had said earlier, so SPFT, if you guys aren't already familiar, it's 2 minutes handle push-ups, or T push-ups, 2 minutes leg tucks, your minimum of 5, and then SPFT run is 24 minutes. 3 miles. And then we have the 6-mile run, so when I was at Sapper school, we had a 6-mile run, and then the class after me, because I had recycled to the next patrolman, they did a 6-mile run. I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but if you can't pass the 6 mile, you probably won't be able to pass 12 mile anyway. So we're gonna keep that as a critical event we have to pass. Then we have the 12-mile road march, and then finally the demo test, the most important test, final test that you take us after school. Critical events you have to pass in this training. And then some of the expectations. So this is my expectation from y'all. You know, right time, right place, right uniform, right attitude. Everything for me is like if you show up exactly where you need to be at the right time, right place, right uniform, right, and you're ready to learn and get going and get this done, then you'll get your tab. Like I'll speak from my experience. Like I didn't train up. Like I was stuck in some days or whatever. When I got to the school, I was far more prepared than other people in my class, and that helped me a lot. Not only physically, but it helped me mentally, right? Because I always showed up when I needed to show up, and I took that with me to school.
Sure. So when I went, right, obviously I'm a non-combat OY, so I think the most important part when you attend these schools is becoming reliable. So this time you take, offhand before you get there, right, you're gonna end up benefiting or harming someone's look or the entire patrol. So, a lot of you guys are Bravos, I assume, or 12 members and whatnot. So I assume you guys have a good look on most of this knowledge. So, but anyways, you want to be a benefit to the patrol. I feel like a lot of times people take these train-ups, half-ass them, and then you go to school. And sometimes people tab, it happens. I'm sure it happens at Ranger School, it happens at Sapper School. You get these half-assers who just coast through. But obviously that's not why you're doing this train-up, right? You want to go there as best as you can be to provide benefit to your patrol. So I just take this shit serious. Everyone's putting in their time for you guys to become the best that you can be for this school and for after. So I would appreciate that everyone takes this as serious as I would take this. So, cool.
Also, like work as a team because this is for the slots for November 16th, and if you guys all go together,
That'd be
would
awesome.
be great. You already know how you guys work, how you'll do patrolling together, how like if you're struggling in something in GS, how you can help your buddy. Like that's what Sapper School is about. It's really about helping your buddy. It's either helping them or you're hurting them. So like take this opportunity to actually get to know your peers and work with them well on the physical and the mental events. So I also put on there, be prepared to learn and absorb information. You're gonna get all these classes and you're not gonna know what the hell like a rate is or whatever. You're not gonna know what an op board is. But if you know now how those things go, when you get there, you're gonna be 2 steps ahead. Like we didn't get these type of patrolling classes for my train up because I left midway. But I know that these classes, although they might be a little boring, like doing annexes and stuff, when you get to patrolling phase, you guys are gonna know everything. You're gonna be helping other people get there too, which is the point of Sapper School as well, helping people that are not in the unit. Also, attending and participating in physical events, so I'm gonna harp on this really hard. Like, there's gonna be people that don't pass the SPFT, right? I'm only gonna take people that pass, but if you're not showing up to the PT events, you're not showing up to the ruck marches, you're showing up drunk, or you're showing up not on time, and you have no excuse, I'll kick you out so quick and I'll grab somebody else. Like, I don't mess around with that. Cause like, I want people that are dedicated and they wanna be here. Like, I stopped drinking for an entire month just so I can do this train up. And like, I went to Sapper School and I got to party after, you feel me? So like, take this seriously, show up on time, and like, don't do the damage to your buddy, right? Take this seriously. And then respect your instructors. So like I said earlier, we're gonna have a lot of lieutenants giving classes. We're gonna have a lot of NCOs giving classes. So show up on time to class, right? Be prepared to learn and take notes and help your peers. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I asked so many questions when I was at school. Some people probably thought like, well, this is the dumbest question ever. And then that same person failed something on a look because they didn't ask the question that I had. So ask questions. No one's gonna, maybe they'll make fun of you. Maybe I'll laugh a little bit. But like, ask all those questions even if you feel like discouraged from asking, do it. And then pass critical events, like I said, SPFT, you have to pass. And then, like I said, ask questions again. So now I'll give it up to like some people that have passed Sapper School that want to speak. So anyone over here? Star, you want to give your experience?
You covered it all.
Yeah.
How was your experience though? It wasn't the same as mine.
I'll just say, like, once you guys get to patrols, like kind of what Castillo said, there's going to be people from other units, and you need to learn how to work with those other people. You'll have squad leaders that, tell you to do certain things, or PLs that tell you to do certain things, and it's up to you to put in that effort and to be kind of like what Sergeant Pierre said, be reliable, be an asset to your platoon. Don't be a liability.
I know.
No, he hit everything. I think above everything else at Sapper. I just learned how to be there for whoever was to the left or right of me. My whole squad, I got like best friends for life. And the reason I did the shitty parts of patrolling mainly was for like my buddies. Like I chose to carry heavy shit, not because it was my turn to carry it, but because I know that they were falling asleep and they wouldn't be able to carry it. Like,
For real.
For real?
Yeah.
Winter, go ahead.
I guess I'll add some stuff. In GS, for example, I got peered in GS. Don't let it get to you. You know, I was able to explain my case to Captain Reed or the commander is there when you're there. Don't let it get to you. Don't let those words get to you. You're at a leadership school. Use it to learn, improve. And I still went on to patrolling with that same class, and I still had to work side by side with people who obviously thought I was not good enough in certain aspects. I needed to show them that I could improve and I could learn on the fly like that. So if you do get into that situation, don't let it get there. And especially if you recycle like Lieutenant Castillo and I did, again, don't let it get to you, just keep pushing.
Recycling's not a bad thing, alright? I don't care what anyone
You did it
says.
twice.
It's not.
Alright, you know, some of us take a little bit longer to learn and understand things, and that's alright.
Is this the no recycle class?
It is. So you don't have the opportunity.
it's a mentality.
Yeah.
Really? It is.
Just go in and kill it. Now go. How was it? Come on.
Okay, I'm a mechanic. I like to get dirty. So
Hell yeah.
I was set to fail. So, but like I'm physically fit, honestly. So
Hell
I'm like,
yeah.
So what I'm saying is that no matter how dumb you think you are, you can't be dumber than I am.
Hell yeah.
But when I went there, GS was like cake because I learned most of the stuff here. Like when I went there, it's like you already watch a movie and watching the game. So now you're there like talking to other people, telling them what's going to happen. So because when you go there, you won't have time. Like the biggest issue is going to be time because they keep you on your feet all day long, and then they give you all those classes, and during the class you're sleeping. And at the end, like you won't have time to. You think that okay, I will have time to go back and look again. Don't have that mindset. Tell yourself that you won't have time to look again. So you want to take notes, like good notes. And if you end up not having good notes because you were sleeping, get with somebody else like her. She's really good at taking notes. And like when she gives her classes here for patrolling, like write them all down. I'm trying to like make like a small book also like for all the steps from GS to patrolling. So first thing, GS is gonna be easy, just your PT events. You're gonna your 5 miles, 6 miles run, all those runs. I know people that didn't pass it, still pass GS the first time. Your land nav, make sure you're good at land nav here before you go. Don't hope that your partner is good when you get there. Be the one that's the good one. And when you do the land nav, you want to pass it the first time. So put all your energy, like run. If you get your point, your first point is probably going to be 3 miles away, and it's going to be at night. That's a good thing. So you can just run. Run to that place, don't get caught on the road. Also, there is a Sapper highway.
Yep.
So when we went there the first time, I didn't know where it was located. So I was on the left side of the road, running with, like it was like just bushes. And then we saw people on the right side. We decided to go on that side, and oh God, like it was like heaven, like nothing. So we could just cruise and run. So run as much as you can during the night time. Go to the longest point, get that, and then when there's daylight, everything's gonna look easier. Also get a good flashlight, like those red lights. Make sure you get a good one, a good flashlight from Amazon, like 10, 15 bucks. It's gonna save your life. Also, when you go to patrolling, like he said, also try not to get peered. Like getting peered doesn't mean that you are a bad person. What it means is that maybe you were on a bad moment, did something stupid, and you got mad, you said something stupid, and that's one thing that you said. People are gonna remember it because everyone else is behaving good, so they don't know who to put at the bottom. And then they remember that you say shit someday, and they say, oh, this guy, okay, he's the worst, and they put you at the bottom, then you get peered out. So no matter how bad it is, know why you there, and then even when you get mad, keep it inside. Like smile, walk away, go sit by yourself. Don't get peer out. That's the easiest way to get out. Also, when when you get patrolling, like getting recycled. When I got recycled the second time, I learned so much more. I'm so glad that I recycled patrolling.
Okay.
If I didn't recycle, I would have had the top, but honestly, I would have had half what I know right now. So even if you get recycled, don't take it as a big deal. Just take a 1 week rest and then go back and do your 2 weeks. Another thing is when she talked about feet. Take good care of your feet. They get wet, you get an opportunity, always have your socks ready, like somewhere easy you can access, and just change your socks. You gotta, like, if you keep good care of your feet, honestly, it's gonna save your whole, it's gonna be easy. Like most of you here are already fit. Also, when you go to patrolling, you're gonna have 2 weeks without shower. I was able to make it work. Like I would use my camelback, go in like those porta potties and just shower there, like shower half, come out, shower the rest. If you can't do that, use powder that you used to put on your feet, foot powder. Just like all those like crazy places, put them there. Like it's gonna keep it clean. No one wanna be around someone that's smelly. Also,
One more.
One more.
so you know,
have time to talk about
there is so much, like you don't have time. But yeah, if you have questions, I'm always at the Moro Police State Nanga. They know like where I am. So yeah, yes, come back.
You don't have to be an engineer to go to the sports.
Yeah.
Nanga went to the sports.
Nice.
Saying, I know you're proud. Okay. Alright, I have your guys' contact. So when is that going to be?
Monday.
What time?
Tuesday.
Damn.
Monday's not good.
Attention to detail. Everyone's proud.
Monday I'm gonna be drinking. Tuesday at 06 at the basketball court, be in the correct uniform, right time, right attitude, right? Just be ready to kill it, right? I'm not gonna say how many people I'm gonna take. You're just gonna have to get at each other's necks and try to see who makes it or not. But,
Is your pacer?
yeah, him and Star will be the Pacers. So. But yeah, does anyone have any questions? Like ask all the questions, please.
We're going to go to a different day.
Oh yeah, well, I don't know, we'll talk about that. Just show it to the test. What day do you wanna go? January?
Probably after Block Week.
Yeah, do the train. Go, 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 go! Does anyone wanna go November? Yeah, so do the train. Pass the train, pass the
Yeah, y'all gotta be counting time for January. Best Sapper start.
Oh, yeah.
We need it.
No questions? You got 4 minutes. If you don't have any more questions, I have your contact info. Thank you.